All thanks and praise is due to the basis foundation. God is most great, and none has the right to worship you. Hello everyone, it's Stepdogg the Hip Hop Prophet, and I'm here with the next video in the YouTube series, and the name of this video is The Trumpets, Trumpets 1 through 4. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to split up the section, the trumpets, because it's a little bit longer, and I'm basically going to separate it, because in the section, the trumpets, it discussed the first 6 trumpets. And in this first part that I'm going to discuss, I'm only going to discuss the first 4, because the first 4 are the ones that sound during the hour of judgment. The 5th and the 6th, they don't sound until sometime after judgment, and it doesn't indicate how long after the hour of judgment or any of that when they will occur. But they occur after the hour and the day of judgment. So I'm going to begin. The trumpets is going to be broken down into 2 videos, and first I am going to describe the first 4 trumpets. So I'm going to read that section now. Then the 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared to sound them. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on the earth. A third of the earth was burned up, a third of the trees were burnt up, and all the green grass was burnt up. The second angel sounded his trumpet, and something like a huge mountain, all ablaze, was thrown into the sea. A third of the sea turned into blood. A third of the living creatures in the sea died, and a third of the ships were destroyed. The third angel sounded his trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter. The fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them turned dark. A third of the day was without light, and also a third of the night. As I watched, I heard an angel. As I watched, I heard an eagle that was flying in midair call out in a loud voice, "Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the trumpet blasts that are about to be sounded by the other 3 angels." Okay, so basically that's what leads up to the 5th trumpet. But I'm going to start with these 4, and I'm going to discuss them. Okay, then the 7 angels had the 7 trumpets and prepared to sound them. Well, basically, from the last section, the last video, at the end of that section, the angel hurled the golden censer at the earth. Now that's the meteorite, the asteroid, or the comet, and that's hurled at the earth. So before it hits the earth, the angels are preparing to sound their trumpets. So basically, once it hits the earth, the first trumpet sounds. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on the earth. Well, what that is all of the volcanic eruptions resulting from the destruction of the South China Sea. Like I explained in the prior video and when discussing the province of Asia. During the hour of judgment, God is going to inflict mass destruction upon Asia. Other parts of the world are going to be affected by this, there's no doubt, because the ring of fire, it connects all different parts of the world together. But Asia is the main focus of God. And basically, like I said in the prior video, there is a huge oil and natural gas reserve underneath the South China Sea. When that object hits the reserve, the ring of fire is going to ignite, and volcanoes are going to erupt all over the world. The volcanic eruptions, the lava and magma, are the hail and fire mixed with blood. That's what that is. It's the volcanic eruptions and the lava flows and the magma. And, okay, a third of the earth was burnt up, a third of the trees were burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. So basically, wherever these volcanic eruptions occur, it's going to end up resulting in 1/3 of all plant life on the planet being burnt up. So that is the first trumpet. And then we have the second angel. Okay. So the second angel sounded the second trumpet, sounded his trumpet. And something like a huge mountain all ablaze was thrown into the sea. That's the actual asteroid or meteorite or comet. So he gets to see the space object hit the water. And that creates what I've discussed and described as the big wave and tsunamis. I mean, it's going to totally destroy the South China Sea. So all of that water is going to, just blow out. But not only that, what you got to realize is, like the vision that I had from heaven, when God creates a big wave like that, it also goes like in a linear direction. It isn't just a splash. It's like the wave can extend in a linear direction. Like when God splashed the wave and I saw it, it kind of like started to take over the entire Atlantic Ocean. Like it started in one spot, but it started to spread. So that can happen as well. And you're definitely going to have tsunamis because of this. Okay. A third of the sea turned to blood. Well, because of the ignition of the oil and gas reserve, the water is going to begin to boil. Not only that, but it's going to fill with lava and from underneath the earth and magma and stuff. And, the water is going to begin to boil. It's going to become super hot. And because of that, a third of all living creatures in the sea are going to die. Like basically, that heat and that temperature is going to rise so much. Also, you're going to have underground eruptions along the ring of fire all over the world as well. So because of that, 1/3 of all sea life is going to die all over the world. And a third of the ships were all destroyed. Now, this is how I know that it's the South China Sea. The world economy revolves around China at this point. China makes the majority of all products that are sold throughout the world. It is a known fact that 1/3 of all cargo ships pass through the South China Sea every day. Well, the 1/3 of ships that get destroyed are those ships that are passing through or are not far from the South China Sea. Because, the Pacific Ocean is going to be the main source of the, destruction by water. There might be some tsunamis that result in the Atlantic Ocean as well. I wouldn't put it past it because, the ring of fire, goes in the path that it goes. So wherever there's eruptions along the ring of fire, you're going to have earthquakes. So it's possible for other destruction as well, like through the Atlantic and whatnot. But for the most part, it's going to be destruction resulting in any lands that border the Pacific Ocean. And mainly Asia. You know what I mean? Like Asia's going to get walloped during the hour of judgment. Okay, so that's the second trump. The third trumpet, and a great star, blazing like a torch, fell from the sky on a third of the rivers and on the springs of water. The name of the star is Wormwood. Okay, what Wormwood is during the hour of judgment, there's going to be mass destruction in Asia, and the North Korean dictator Kim Jong-il, he is going to attempt to launch a nuclear missile. And he is going to launch it, but it's going to explode over Korea. And the radioactive fallout is what, is Wormwood. And I'm going to explain this as well. A third of the waters turned bitter, and many people died from the waters that had become bitter. Well, basically, those rivers and waters are going to be affected with radioactive fallout. And that's going to kill a lot of people in Asia. So that's exactly what that is. That's the third trumpet. He's going to panic, and he's going to do that. The fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and a third of the sun was struck, a third of the moon, and a third of the stars, so that a third of them turned dark. A third of the day was without light, and also a third of the night. Basically, from all the ash and smoke and fire, the ash clouds from the volcanoes are basically going to engulf the whole entire planet. And they're going to engulf the whole entire planet for 8 hours. How do I figure 8 hours? Because we have a third of the day and a third of the night. So, using, I know it doesn't usually work like that, where you have 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. But basically what God's trying to say here is a third of the day is going to be completely dark, no matter where you are. You know what I mean? It could be daytime, and things are going to be totally dark. And this is also when I talked about the sixth seal, where it describes the sky as looking like sackcloth and wool. Because it's not going to be completely black. It's going to be like smoke clouds that are so thick that they just block all sun and starlight out for 8 hours. These trumpets are significant because all four of these trumpets sound during the hour of judgment. So basically, they are all a direct result of that hit, and they all sound during the hour of judgment. Then we have, as I watched, I heard an eagle fly in midair, call out in a loud voice, "Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, because of the trumpet blast about to be sounded by the other three angels." Okay. So basically, at this point, the hour of judgment has passed. There's still the fifth, sixth, and seventh trumpet that needs to sound. But they don't sound until sometime after the hour of judgment. And it's not like a few hours after. It's going to be, God only knows when. We don't know. It doesn't state in any way. But basically, the final three trumpets, the reason the eagle goes, "Woe, woe, woe," is because the fifth and sixth and seventh trumpet are the three woes of God's wrath. And they occur after the hour of judgment. That's going to be the next video. But this is the video, the trumpets 1 through 4. All thanks and praises due to the Basis Foundation. God is most great. None has the right to be worshipped but you.